I'm Dan, and this is 10,000 Hours of Indie, a podcast exploring new music and delving deeper into what goes on in the background of the independent music industry. I'm a musician and passionate music lover, and I wanted to delve deeper into new music in the independent scene around the world. I also saw this as a chance to help artists connect and share their stories, so if there's someone you hear and you want to find out more about, every podcast has links in the show description. Get involved, help this community grow, follow on the 10,000 Hours of Indie socials, you can find all the links in the show description. And also feel free to email me about anything music related, 10,000indie@gmail.com. I'm open to any ideas and love listening to your promos. Lightbeams are a five-piece formed in 2017 in Washington D.C, consisting of Justin Moyer, Sam Levine, Arthur Knoll, Leah Gage and Fiona Corman. They make music which it seems the media find hard to define. Block rock, zap-tone and a few other weird genre suggestions have been made, but whatever they actually are, it makes people want to move their feet and dance. The band released their latest single, Emulate, in July, so I thought it was a good time to chat to them about the band, the new release and some other stuff. Hi guys, how you doing?
Hey,
All right.
doing well. Hi.
Would you like to introduce yourselves to the listeners?
Yeah, I'm Justin from Lightbeams.
Hey, everyone. My name's Fiona, and I'm in Lightbeams. I sing, and I play octobans, and I play SPD samples.
And I'm Leah, and I'm also in Lightbeams, and I play rototoms and sing.
Fantastic. With all the many options I just mentioned in the intro, what genre would you put yourselves in?
I call us, this is Justin, I say we're block rock because, we work with samples, so all of our sounds are just little blocks of data that we load on these mysterious machines, and then we press buttons and the machines play the sounds back like magic. But then also the beats are rocking the block because it's just so exciting. So that's why we call it block rock. But I guess you could also call it just, rock or dance or something else.
This is Leah. I've never been good at describing music with words, and I like when people make up genres because I think a lot of people sometimes slot us into dance punk, which works for me, but I like block rock better.
So that's your own term that you came up with, Justin, or
we invented it. It's our term. Don't anyone try to take it. It's ours.
Fantastic. So how about your influences? What kind of music made you want to make this music?
I keep waiting for someone else to talk, but I guess I'm going to go first every time.
I think I put that on you. That's my fault.
No, it's cool. I listen mainly to like older music, like Bo Diddley or, Elvis Presley. I don't listen to too much modern stuff because I'm old. And I just wanted to make something that was different and sort of uncategorizable because that's good for the algorithm. So that's what we do. We try to, put together, I don't know. What am I saying? I don't know. What are our influences, guys? I don't know. What do you guys listen to?
I know it's so hard to say because, I listen to also like older music. I listen to a lot of Devo and Kraftwerk, and that's kind of the music that I really like. And so there is something that is very steady about the light music that Lightbeams makes, and I think that maybe there's an element of that to the influence. But I also just really love the percussion and just playing live percussion. So I'm trying to think of who. Yeah,
Sheila E.
I know. Well, that's you. That started your kind of interest in this band, and then I read her book because you told me to, and then I watched a ton of videos of her, and also watching Prince videos has been influential.
I don't even know what kind of music Fiona likes, really.
Well, I've gotten a lot of Talking Heads references when some of my families listen to the music. So,
have you heard of the Swedish band Goat?
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay, you should have a listen to them because I can see some similarities between your music. They're sort of a more world music version of what you do, I think, but you should have a listen to them.
That sounds great.
Cool.
They're a very good band. Let's talk about the latest single a little. What inspired Emulate?
We were not everyone can always come to practice, so Fiona and I were at practice. Fiona, I think, had a bass line, right, Fiona?
Yeah, we put 5 minutes on the clock, and you played drums and I played bass.
So we have a clock in our studio, which is another thing that we invented. We turn on our clock, and then we put it for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and then when the clock runs out, you have to stop playing. And this is a exercise in order to generate material, but then quickly move on if the material is not working, without the sort of awkwardness of realizing that as a group. So Fiona and I did that, and then
we recorded the bass and drums in the room, and then you sent me the voice memo. And then when I was driving home from practice that night, I came up with a couple of ideas for vocals and sent them back to you. And then we layered those, and then you came up with more vocals. And then Leia listened to that and added just really great layered additions onto it. And then we started practicing it and building it out. I think Arthur sort of added to the bass line, and then Sam built a couple different drum lines to change the song, right? Have it have different chapters.
And it's that kind of iterative process, which I think is, what we try to do, where it's a real collaborative thing, and not just someone bringing in a song and saying like, here are the chords or whatever. I think that way of making music is hard to make interesting music that way. And I think the way that Fiona just described, even though it might be slow or kind of weird with voice memos flying around, is just generally more effective.
The clock thing that you said is actually something that writers are encouraged to do, that you sit down and you give yourself 5 minutes to draft the outline of a story or something when you're doing creative writing.
Yes, I think that's right. And I've heard of that. I've heard tell of that technique, and I think it has a good application here.
Yeah, I should try it with my band, because we spend hours sitting around doing bugger all when we should be trying to write something. So
you may have written like 10 things, and if you have the voice memos or whatever, you can go through it. But the timed creativity thing, it takes practice too. But like, I like that method for getting to whatever the heart of the song is that makes it groove. I don't know, maybe that sounds corny, but that tends to be what ends up happening.
I love songs that have like a repeated call to action, which it has at the start of the song, which is telling your audience you're going to do this now, and you're going to do this, and you're going to do this. And I like that. I think it's a good song for interaction.
We kind of like to boss the audience around. We don't like audiences to have too much, freedom. We want them to do what we want them to do. So this is like a imperative, like directions. A song that is directions. We need more of those, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, think of all the great songs of all time. It's telling people to do things or to get over their heartbreak or whatever. It's always, you must do this.
Right. There's an urgency there. And that's what we're about. Urgency.
Is this the first single from an upcoming new album?
It could be.
Yeah, I think the goal is we want to put out 7 inches, 2 songs, and we have a bunch of things kind of ready to put out. And then hopefully it will become an album.
But you haven't actually recorded any more stuff at the moment, or you're on the way, or what's going on that?
I think we're constantly recording. I think that's sort of what a band should be doing at all times. Yeah, and we have a ton of it, like 2 dozen, things lying around. And I like having that, not all of it's good or releasable, but, how can we know whether it is releasable until we live with it and see what we feel about it in 2 weeks and in 4 weeks. So yeah, we're always kind of accumulating these bits, these blocks. So I that's sort of the philosophy of the group.
I have to ask about the band name. Where did that come from? What inspired that?
All right, that one I have to answer because I made it up. So I've been in a lot of bands in the past with like confusing names, or you say the name and people are like, well, what did you say? So I wanted to have just a simple name. We started out as a 3-piece, and the original members came up with a long list of names, and Light Beams was on there, and we thought that was a very simple name that didn't really convey anything in particular, but it just was like people could understand the 2 words and what they were. But now we're finding out that that's wrong, and people think our name is Light Beans, like black beans or pinto beans. So I don't know. What do you think we all should do about it? We just have to live with it? We have no choice?
I actually really like the band name. I think, and actually, if you search Lightbeam's band, you pop up straight away. There's no confusion. There's nothing else close to it, and that happens with so many bands when I search for them that I find 2 or 3 hits with very similar names.
Did you think it was beans, like
I
organic
did
beans?
not. No.
Or magic beans?
I have to be honest. If I'd had to contact a band called Light Beans, I probably wouldn't have done.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, it's a great risk. I don't know how to manage it.
I was talking to another band recently about great old school posters and the fact that people are doing sort of hand designed or retro kind of posters. And I noticed that on your Instagram, you had a poster of a cassette for one of your shows recently.
Right. That's Fiona's department. Fiona gets to talk. She does the visuals.
I used to love listening to cassettes on my little cassette player and thought it was a cool vintage image and just ran with it, and had 2 images for the Rhizome show that we just played last Sunday. And it's also an old TV. And it's been a great opportunity to learn how to do some graphic design work. Leah's been helping me out too. And we've been making posters and designed the 7-inch image. And it's just been a real joy to get to have another mode of creativity in this band, not only getting to play music, but also doing graphic image work.
And Fiona has really taken it and run with it and taken ownership of it. And it's been really fun. In a band, your podcast is 10,000 hours of indie. And we're like, when you think about indie and independent and the need to create, all these different things that go into a single, and artwork being one of them, there's so many different elements. And when you're independent, it's like we have to do it ourselves. And Fiona has really taken it and run with it with the 7-inch as well.
And I just got to add that both Arthur and Sam have also been integral in the process. Couldn't do it without them. They have a keen eye and are just so supportive and have such a vision for what all the imagery should look like.
But to be clear, Fiona's the one doing all the work.
It sounds like you've got a really good dynamic within the band, though, that you all feed off of each other and you all put the energy in together and you've all got your sort of niche that you're particularly good at, but with feedback from others.
Exactly. I think practice often looks like people bouncing musical ideas off of one another. It happens naturally. And I think we have this really magical mix right now of talents and skills and influences coming together in the band. And so it's both fun when we're together and, chopping it up in the van, but also like when we're actually making music, it's been producing something really exciting.
So you've been doing this for almost 10 years with this band. Do you still get the thrill of people hearing a new song the way you did when you first formed?
Yeah, and to be clear, in this formation, it's only been a few years. So, the band was a trio for a long time, but only really came alive in the past, post-pandemic years. I don't know, is it a thrill? It's always a thrill for me to write a new song and hear it myself. It feels amazing. I'm almost not even thinking or caring about what other people think about it because I'm just so self-centered and narcissistic and thinking about my own thing. And then if you feel super positive about a song and that it's the greatest thing ever, but then after a few weeks, you start to wonder if it's really that great. And then you start sort of crash and then you're in a dark place and you have to climb your way out of the place with the help of the bandmates to make an even better song. So it's a very up and down experience. That's kind of fraught, I think. I don't know. I'd be interested to hear what you all think about it.
Well, I think a lot of the feedback then comes from playing live because then we've gotten to see, and we've been, I think, really good about when we're writing new stuff, we get it ready to play live soon so that we can kind of see how it goes and we gather feedback.
So do you tend to play stuff live before you record it?
It's like almost simultaneous. I don't know.
Well, it seems like we would make a demo on a phone, get a completed version, then play it in front of people and see how it feels, and then maybe modify that version, and then make a new demo. And then I have a sort of half-assed recording studio. So maybe we will go in there and try to make like a real version and see how that feels. And it's sort of an endless, again, iterative, if I'm using that word correctly, process of recording and performing and seeing how it feels and But then sometimes the feeling, you can't trust it. Sometimes like I have feelings that are false, and then it's a discussion about like, did that go over? Did it or did it not? And then in a whole other conversation, which maybe Leia as a trained therapist would know how to address those feelings. I don't know.
No, looking blankly.
Yeah.
So I saw some show snippets on your Instagram of the show you played last weekend, and it looked like a lot of fun. It looks like one big party when you play shows.
I don't know, guys. Is it a party, do you think?
I think people tend to dance. So in DC, there's a reputation that people in DC don't dance. They never dance at shows. They always stand like this. And I'm sure that's a reputation in a lot of other cities. But for some reason, when we play, people dance a little bit more. It's not, when you still look out of the crowd, you still see people standing like this. And sometimes I'm like, okay, I guess this isn't, but some people just don't want to dance. But I do. Always, as is obvious from pretty much all live performances, because I do dance constantly, and it's just because I can't help it. And yeah, I think the show we played, sometimes there's that element. Yeah, sometimes people just want to dance to us.
This seems to be the first completely independent release by the band. What's your story with labels, as you've been on a few before this release?
I just think that labels are like, like a breeze. They sometimes the breeze comes and is at your back and propelling you through time and space. But then sometimes the breeze dissipates and you're left floating, on your own. So just as it's nice to have a breeze at your back, you can't always, you have to propel yourself forward. And you can't necessarily wait for other people to do that. So I've had a lot of support from labels over the years, particularly Discord Records, Love It Records. And it's been great to have it. But I don't think you can put on them the onus to, get in front of people and get your music in front of people and get out the door. I think, you have to find your own way in this new century to make art, and if possible, not go broke doing it. But it is great to have a breeze at your back.
Did you want more freedom? Is that why you self-released this single?
I think that labels right now are going through, it doesn't mean what it used to mean. Like labels are like bands right now. They're struggling too. They're really, it's hard to make money selling physical music. And so I just think financially, like, again, talking about the idea of independent musicians, we feel an urgency. We want to put this music out. We were so excited about it, so we put it out. We went and we recorded it in Philly, November, and we put it out now. So working with a label can slow things down for sure. But yeah, it's just also tough out there. So we'll just put it out. But we have some support. We have Love It and Discord supporting in some respects.
So what's upcoming? You've just released a single. We talked about the possibility of an album in the sort of longer term. Have you got some more live shows and things coming up?
We're going to California in September. We just announced the tour, so we're going from September 3rd to September 8th.
Okay. Is that somewhere the band has been before? Have you got an established market there, or this is a whole new thing for you?
First time.
Yeah, I think it's really important. I don't like... And I have never been a hometown hero. I think it's better to go where people don't know you and you're just trying to make, music work in front of strangers. And it almost doesn't matter where, it's like, let's not, let's go anywhere but our own city and try to put this material out and see how it works in front of people who have no stake in it. They have no reason to like us. They have no reason to watch us. We live and die on our own performance. So let's go see if we live or die,
Does that make you work harder for a show, do you think?
I think so. Because it's so logistically fraught, just to book one show, let alone 5, 3,000 miles from home. I'm not doing it to make money. I'm doing it to see if the artwork holds up, it's sort of necessary in order to like a comedian almost, to work the material to see if it's going to work. And you have to always look for new places to do that and new audiences to do that. And I haven't been to the West Coast, played there in so many years. I just wanted to go back. So we're doing it.
The final question, or final proper question, maybe one answer from each is the best. What music are you listening to at the moment that people may not be aware of and should take some time to check out?
That's a great question. I'm looking at the younger people on the call for good answers.
I've been listening to Lizzie Mercier Desclous a lot this summer. I don't know. Do you ever listen to her? She's like a cool French artist from a few decades ago.
The Orchestra Marcel Duchamp we should talk about. We should call them out.
Yes, I have been listening to them. Orchestre Tout Puissant Marcel Duchamp. And we just played with them here in D.C. They did a U.S. or North American tour. And they make amazing music that is also urgent and also logistically really complicated because it's like a 13-piece orchestra, but just super compelling songwriting, lyrics, dancing, a very cool band.
They were my idea. So now Fiona has to go. I already went. I got credit already.
I've been listening to the album Warm Chris. It's from 2022 by Aldous Harding. Arthur, our bass player, recommended it to me, and it's beautiful.
Okay.
What should we know about? What music are you listening to?
Yeah.
You're listening to 40 hours a week of music. That's a lot of music.
There's this cool American band called Light Beams. Or is it Light Beans? I can't remember.
It's Beans. I think it's an organic band.
Hang on, I will check what I've been listening to, because actually the guy I've just interviewed, he's got a ensemble classical, but it's got sort of a prog vibe to his classical stuff, which is very cool. And that's called the North Sea Radio Orchestra, and they're very cool. But I don't need to answer this question because you can listen back to the podcast, and I will not interview somebody I don't like the music of. That way you can check out all the bands I've interviewed and you'll hear what I like and am listening to.
Well, we're so grateful that you had us all the way from Helsinki.
Anyone wishing to find out more about the band, where can they find you on socials and things?
You can find us on Instagram. You can find us at Light Beams, right? Oh, God.
Light Beams Instagram with an M, not an N. Light
at
Beams.
Light__beams with an M. And you can find us on Bandcamp. You can find us on Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music. Try not to find us on Spotify if you can. Find us on Tidal.
Definitely find us on Tidal. And 2 underscores. Yeah. LIGHT 2 underscores BEAM as in Mary S. Everyone got that?
We're all
I think there might be an asterisk in there too. I mean, double asterisk, / light beams, triple underscore, BEAN or MS. I don't know. It's, at some point, you're just on your own, you know.
People will find you just by searching Light Beams. I did.
All right. Well, it's great to know.
The latest single, Emulate, is available now across streaming platforms and Bandcamp. Thank you for chatting, guys. It's been a pleasure having you here. And, well, not here, but you know what I mean. And, yeah, let me know when you've got some new music so we can share it with the world.
We sure will. Thanks so much.
I do. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.